Okay, this is a Luxman LV117 integrated amplifier from the late 1980s. It had a severely blown amplifier channel. And here's the basic circuit. Output transistors, drivers, drive limiting, and bias. And so we'll let you know how it turns out. These output transistors and drivers are bad. I don't really recall if the emitter resistors are bad or not. We have base current limiting resistors bad, 4.7 ohms. They're smoked. Some pre-drivers are bad. Some parts in the bias circuitry is bad. Basically, it just needs a lot of work. Okay, this is that Luxman again. We have a burned resistor at the bias pot position there. There's a blasted foil run right here. I'm going to remove the emitter resistors to gain a little better access to the transistors and so forth. Okay, and all of the output transistors and drivers down in here, bias transistors, a number of 4.7 ohm resistors, a 100 ohm power resistor here, and a number of intermediate sized transistors and so forth in here were bad, in addition to the usual cleaning of controls and so forth. As you can see, the both channels are operating, and there were some additional problems with the other amplifier channel up in the preamp somewhere. That appears to be a bad connection up somewhere on the front panel, and we'll probably be having to investigate that further. Okay, once again, this is that Luxman LV117 integrated amplifier. I'm going to be trying to get into the front panel to clean some controls, and it's not going to be easy. Let's try and get a little different camera angle here, perhaps. Okay, well, let's try it again. Let's see here. Gonna have to loosen or pull off these circuit boards, the switch covers. What a mess. I can support it a little better from the rear. I can do this piecemeal. That wouldn't bother me. Well, it's going to Squirting cleaner in there is going to be messy. I'm going to have to probably live with a little bit of runoff there. Maybe okay, a compressor might help after I'm done. I'm going to have to really flush these controls here. Or do we have any? Can we see that? Okay. I'm going to have to really flush out these controls here. They're causing the little tape dubbing relays on the back panel to chatter. As many people that do this stuff are aware, keg deoxide is considered about the best chemicals for this sort of thing, cleaning controls. But the trick, a lot of times, is getting the cleaning chemicals where they need to be. And that's not easy. I have here a little applicator that I can use, and then I come along with some higher powered aerosol to force the cleaner where it needs to be, and we can only hope that with a combination of that and moving the controls back and forth that the contact surfaces inside the switches get clean, or clean enough to function at least. And in this case, I think it's going to be a matter of flushing out the controls pretty darn good. Hence the problem with the runoff. Most of your more modern amplifiers use electronic signal switching, which is probably a plus in most cases. I like a well-maintained analog control, but they, when they're 25 or 30 years old, it's hard to keep them working well. I hope that works. To have to disassemble it any further than I did to clean those controls is not high on my list of desirables. Okay. One thing that's a little scary working with something like this that's this old, sometimes the plastic just gets brittle from age, Or if you just apply a little too much pressure, you can damage it, and then what do you do? The parts certainly aren't going to be available. Electronic Wizards. Pretty good. Well, I'm sorry, we really aren't a parts dealer. Probably have to buy those on the internet somewhere. Huh? Cheapskate. I believe this is the tone defeat switch here, if memory serves, which is always a dicey proposition for me. I'm one of those guys that'll probably have Alzheimer's at a relatively young age. But for now, at least, I'm still able to do my work. These will be your source select buttons here. Source select switches, as it were. No interruption there. Now, where was I? I sure hope these controls clean up good. Will it be messy? I mean, well, it's gonna be messy. One of the hazards of this job is getting this stuff to spray back on my eyeglasses. It's kind of annoying when that happens. But it certainly has happened before. In the previous blog, I mentioned that there was a channel cutting out in the preamp somewhere. It kind of quit doing that, but I'm not a big believer in problems fixing themselves. The most recent time I got it to do it was yanking on this cable right here. In at least one of my earlier blogs, you saw me wearing a brace on my wrist, and if you look real close on another one, you saw a band-aid right there, and the reason is because I just had carpal tunnel surgery about a month ago now. It's still kind of painful. So take my advice, don't get old. And we're back.
Oh, that's that Lux, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Making a video blog out of it.
I've already got a blog up on it, but it doesn't include the rest of the story, as it were. Maybe we could put up a YouTube video on how short that cable is, you know.
I'm sorry?
Maybe we could put up a YouTube video to show them how short that cable is.
Ooh. If we can intersperse it with stills that they say.
I haven't. There is a way to do that. I haven't figured out how to add still pictures to those yet. Yeah, I mean, it can be done. I've seen it done.
I've got some wonderful pictures of this whole thing.
Okay, I'm just about ready to call this one done. The controls cleaned up pretty good, and we have both channels clear and strong on the oscilloscope there. I think we'll consider this one pretty much done.